So let's go into the Route 53 console. And to get started with Amazon Route 53, you need to register a domain. So on the left-hand side, click on register domains, but this will cost you money. So if you don't want to do it, then just watch me do. I'm going to register a domain and I have to choose a domain name. So stephaneccp.com. Let's see if someone took it. And no one took it. It's available for me. So I'm going to buy it for $12 a year. I'll add it to my cart and then I will click on continue. Then I have to register my information. So I'll just do that offline. And then my order is completed and it will take a bit of time to get processed. So for this, I can go to my domains and I can see the domain registration is in progress. So after a while, maybe 10, 15 minutes, you will see your domain, stephaneccp.com, and you will see its expiration date and so on. So once you have done this, you go into the left-hand side into hosted zones. And the hosted zones, you will have one created, which is stephaneccp.com. And this is where we're going to place our DNS records. And currently we should only have 2 DNS records, but we're going to create EC2 instances and then DNS records to point to them. So let's go ahead and create EC2 instances. So I'm going to go into the EC2 console in the region I'm in right now, which is going to be the Ireland region right here. And I'm going to create our first EC2 instance that's going to say hello from whatever, the region. So I will launch the instance and then I will just scroll down. I'm going to be a little bit quicker on this because we've done this before. So I will proceed without a key pair. I will select create a new security group that allows HTTP traffic. No need for SSH, so HTTP is enough. And then we're going to scroll down and under advanced details, we're going to add some user data. And I will just post this. And instead of hello world from hostname, we're going to say hello world from Ireland. Okay. Next, I'm going to launch this instance. And we have one instance launching right now in this region. So I'm going to click on it and I'm going to get the public IP from this instance. So here it is. And I'm going to just save this in a new file in here just to have a reference to it. So Ireland is this IP. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch regions. So maybe I'll go to US West 2, so Oregon. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. So I will launch instances and I will scroll down. Instance type, I will choose a T2 micro. So as you can see, it's a bit slower. So this is because we're in a region that's further away from me. So it's a good example of latency. I will create a security group again, and I will just allow HTTP traffic from anywhere. And for advanced details, again, I'm going to copy the user data from before. And this one is going to be hello world from the US. Okay. Next, I'm going to launch my instance and go in the console to find it. So now we have 2 instances being launched. So we have one in the Ireland region and one in the US West 2 region. So they're far away from each other. And if I go to this first IPv4 address and go for it, I get the hello world from Ireland. So this is working just fine. And I'm going to pause for this instance to start running and get back to you. Now, if I go to this instance and look at the public IPv4 address and paste it, I get a hello world from the US. So this is awesome. We have an instance in Ireland and an instance in the US. So now let's go into Route 53. So here I am, and I'm going to actually create records. So we're going to create our first record, and the subdomain is going to be www.stephaneccp.com. It's a type of record, which is the A type of record. And the value is going to be the value of my instance in Ireland. So I copy this and paste it. And you need to remove the HTTP if it does get copied. And the routing policy is going to be a latency-based policy because I want to be routed to the instance that is the closest to me in terms of latency. So this instance right here is in the EU West 1 region. So I will just type it EU West 1 and I have it. And then the record ID, I will say my instance from Ireland. And we can add another record underneath. So again, for www.stephaneccp.com, same thing, it's an A record. This time the value is going to be this IP right here. So I copy it and paste it. And then the routing policy is again a latency, but this time the region that this is in is the US West 2. which is Oregon. And the record is my US instance. Okay, so here, that means that for the WW, we have two records, one associated with the US West region and one with the EU regions. So let's create these records. And as you can see in here, you can look at the latency for two of these instances. So now we should go ahead and test this. So if I open a new tab and go to www.stephancccp.com and press enter, as you can see, I get a hello world from Ireland. So this is the instance that is the closest to me, of course. And if I refresh this page, of course, I'm going to remain on a hello world from Ireland. But if I use a VPN, and this is NordVPN that I'm using, and connect to another country, so for example, the United States, now it will look like my connection is coming from the United States, okay? So I open a new private window and go to stephancccp.com. And as you can see, I get a hello world back from the US because my connection is closest to my US-based instance. So that's it for this lecture. So we've demonstrated how Route 53 was allowing us to create a record that would basically guide us to the instance that has the least latency versus us, okay, compared to us. So this is all you need to know for the scope of Route 53 at the exam. But of course, if you're going to an associate level exam, then you need to learn more about how to use the different types of records, what they mean, and so on. So to clean up, just make sure to terminate your instances in the various regions so that you don't have any costs. So you can terminate this one and you can terminate that one as well. And then also, lastly, you can choose, if you wanted to delete the hosted zone, stephancccp.com or whatever you have chosen for your domain name. This will cost you 50 cents per month. But no matter what, the domain that you have purchased before will cost you around $12 per year. So if you don't want to pay again $12 next year, please make sure to disable the auto renewal. Okay, so that's it for this lecture. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next lecture.